you're probably interested in processing this data right here.
Yeah, though I couldn't figure out like those spikes on the larger stars.
Yeah,
So I don't know what to do. Even with the blur exterminator, those spikes didn't seem to go away. So I was wondering how you did that. Plus, maybe
yeah.
go over some of the GIMP.
Go over some of the GIMP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to fix the
Yeah,
spikes
I had to
in
fix
GIMP,
the.
and I'm hearing my own echo, and it's going through Ren's desktop
Yeah, sorry
computer.
about that.
Hey, Ren, I could hear you now. All right, so I'm going to open up that file from Gale. So this is the crop mask. I usually don't bother with it. Now, the right way of doing things is we start off by doing a plate solve on this, followed by doing a spectral photometric color calibration. That's a mouthful. But I think I'm going to go the lazy way and not do any of that, just for the sake of time. So I'm just going to do a screen transfer function, unlinked screen transfer function.
Okay.
And I'm gonna run with that. So histogram transformation, select that view, drag down the screen transfer function.
This is my old way of like just doing the stretches. They call this the non-linear stretch, I think.
Yeah, for the most part, it works well. Not always, but almost always. And it works
I
fairly
think
well
it works
because
pretty well for Nebula, but not for like broadband. Broadband, you'd have to do like what you showed us last time with the GHS.
right. So I'm gonna drag and drop
Hey,
this
from
auto background extraction.
I remember. So for this one, I remember this image was f2, and then
Oh wow.
last week's was 2.8, I believe, or 4 maybe.
Oh, okay. So by stopping down the aperture, you basically sharpen up the stars, lessen the aberration and
Slightly,
things like
yeah.
that.
So I think that's why, because I was looking at my notes here, and yeah, this was at f2, and then I remembered I want to try stopping it down for the other one that you did last week.
Well, it's still workable, I think.
That could be because that's where the spikes maybe appeared at f2. I
Yeah,
don't know. I gotta test that out still.
right. Okay, so we're left with this image. The background extraction sort of did its job. It's nice and even across. Well, maybe it's, I don't know if it's a little bright there. I think we'll use this. I think it's good enough. So I'm going to minimize the original, and then I'm going to rename this. I'll just simply call it DSO. I'll run Blur Exterminator, shrinking the stars down to 20%. I think 20% is a good number. It sort of cleans up just a little bit of the chromatic aberration and all the other aberration. That's still initializing.
Yeah, you got a lot of stars, so
Yeah, that's probably why it took a while. Okay, there it is. Now it's going.
By the way, I've been meaning to ask. I forgot which YouTube I was watching, but basically the guy was saying that he would downsample like a drizzled image to its correct like non-drizzled image. Is that something that you do on your end?
Downsample?
Oh
No?
yeah, I'll find it. I'll find it. But
Okay.
go ahead. I'll find it.
I usually double drizzle, but I don't have a 2600 MC like you do. I use a 533, kind of a smallish sensor, so I think it's a 3008 by 3008 pixel. So that's asking for a double drizzle at least. Okay, so I'm gonna do a star exterminator on this, generate star
Okay.
image, large overlap.
Okay.
I'm not sure how sharp my mind is today. I measured my fever. I'm at like 102 almost.
What the heck, dude?
oh,
Yeah.
what? You
You should get some
sick?
rest, man. What the hell?
Well,
You
it's
could have
fine. I
done.
mean, I worked a full day today. I took care of the kids, fed the kids, washed the dishes, mopped the floor, put the kids to bed.
I think if you ask Strong, like, post-processing is his rest period.
It is. I enjoy doing this. It's a perfect downtime for me. This is how I wind myself down to go to bed, I guess.
Yeah, a beer and post-processing,
Yeah.
basically.
If it weren't for the fever, I'd be having a beer by now, but I gotta stay hydrated. All right, so
Yeah,
I'm
for
gonna
me, it's post-processing with and coffee.
coffee at
Yeah.
night.
Same.
That'll be in the morning. I
Ah,
have to usually post-process. I'll stack in the morning because
yeah,
like the computer like heats up.
I
So I
see.
have to do it in the morning, and I don't do a lot of it in the summer either.
Yeah, because your PC is like a heater, right?
Yeah, it's actually my space heater during the winter.
Hmm, that's
Same.
crazy.
Yep.
Okay, so I basically undid, I should say, the star exterminator and then the blur exterminator, and then I'm gonna rerun blur exterminator, but this time 50% sharpened stars, and then maybe a 6 pixel PSF diameter, and then maybe the sharpened non-stellar, I'll bump it up to like maybe, oh, I don't know, 75, 0.75,
Okay.
and then apply. So just like last time, my process flow is to create two star layers. One is 20% reduction of the stars, the other is 50% to get the more pinpoint stars. And then using pixel math to combine the two at a certain strength, if you will, by dividing. I normally divide the 50% reduction star to like divide by two, and then divide it by 3 or 4 for the 20%, just to make it lighter on that one. Okay, and then I'll apply Star Exterminator.
Cool. You're imaging.
Yeah, I'm imaging.
What are you... Oh,
Yeah,
How's
there's my
your
telescope.
how's your tracking?
It's doing all right.
wow.
Let
That's
me.
right, dude.
What's bright?
The,
My sky?
the
Well,
sky.
not as bad
The
as
sky is
your
brilliant.
sky in downtown LA or Koreatown.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Koreatown must be worse.
Yeah,
What's your
I
tracking
think
right now?
you're at the upper end of
Jeez, that's
Portal
pretty
9, like I
good.
mentioned.
0.69.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
That's
gone worse now. Dude, I was averaging point 0.5. Thanks, man, for
It's
jinxing
going
it.
up. Something
What,
happened.
what the? I don't know.
Oh, it's drizzling.
Oh,
It's drizzling
no,
right
you
now.
mean thither? Okay, it's dithering. Okay,
I mean, it's not even drizzle.
but
I'm
why?
sorry. Dither. Yeah.
Yeah, but why would it
The
count the
dither.
dithering as RMS error? That shouldn't count. Or I guess
Yeah, it
the
should.
aftermath of it,
It,
and then
It's not
my
perfect, but
yeah, I might have to
Frank,
turn
that's
up.
a side. Oh, can I see the your advanced sequencer? How
It's
this is
pretty
like running?
pretty basic. This is all I have. I'm not doing an automatic meridian flip. I'm gonna do that manually.
yeah,
So
I'm doing it the same way too. I just add
With
just
the
like he
flip?
does, and
yeah,
add the time, the progress, and the dither every. Oh, he does every 5. I
yeah,
do
every
every
5.
2.
I used to do
Yeah,
that,
I
but
do every 5.
yeah, I do every 5. I might bump it to 10. I feel like dithering kind of takes away imaging time. So
That's a good conclusion to make. If your images still come out pretty good, even at 5, I might
yeah,
just bump it up too from 2.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then gains at 100, I'm
Yeah.
using L Extreme. Let's see, it's 186, so 3 minutes. I put 400
Right.
as a total subs. I'll never get up to that.
You never get up to 400, but just
Yeah,
in case, yeah,
yeah,
that's the point.
yeah,
And so you just wait until it's past meridian, and then
yeah. So
you just go to like you just park it and then re-slew to the same object.
well, I don't even park it at all. I stop my sequence, I stop PhD2
Uh-huh.
guiding, and then I go to framing, and then I
Uh-huh.
click on slew and center, and that's all I need to do. And
Okay,
space
so you
off
don't
of.
even load a file or image.
Well, I already did. So you can see here, it's file for my image source. I already have a file for plate solving that I created, so that's what I'm using now.
And normally I'll park the scope and then I load one of my old subs that I just got like maybe a couple hours ago.
Hmm.
So it's exactly the same frame as like the previous sub, and then it will like slew and center to that.
Why do
And
you,
then I just start sequence again.
but why do you have to park it and then reload the file?
Uh I'm thinking like you gotta reset the mount. That's why I've always done that.
I've never done
Home
that.
or
I mean, it's supposed to slew on the other side of the pier,
Yeah,
anyways.
I
Yeah,
see.
back in my old days in imaging, what year was that? Like 2017, 2018.
Yeah,
It would take me an hour and a half to like, just do the meridian flip because then I got to refocus the star and then try to like get the framing right by moving the mount manually. Now everything's automated.
yeah. I think one of these days, if I do get an EAF, then I think that's when it makes sense to me to also do an automatic meridian flip. But I like to do it manually because I want to keep my eyes, not always keep my eyes on Nina, but like every now and then just look at it just to make sure my star count is good. I'm not going out of focus.
I
This,
get paranoid with the scope might like hitting the legs on the tripod legs, so I
uh,
never do the automatic.
oh,
I've seen the Meridian flip like fail like in a wonky way before, so I never
yeah,
trust it.
yeah.
can you trigger that flip manually, like in Nina, or do you? like recalculate everything.
What you might have to recalculate might be your guiding. But it looks like Trung doesn't even do that.
No, nope, I don't.
So
Oh, that's
you
good
can
to
choose to
know.
recalibrate or refocus. Sometimes you lose focus because of, like, there's tilt on your imaging train. Because
Hmm.
when you flip it over on the meridian flip,
Yeah,
now your tilt is
On the
the
other
other
side.
side.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the things like that you gotta have to factor in. That's why I lose a lot of imaging time just trying to like fix things like that.
Well,
If you got a simple rig, then it's not a problem. Like if you have a small refractor,
hmm,
then it's not a big deal. But if
yeah.
you start going to the large refractors like the 127,
Hmm.
then you got to deal with issues like that.
Oh yeah,
And then
yeah.
you got to worry about like the refractor hitting the tripod legs, and that's catastrophic
That
on
would be
your
bad.
mount.
Yeah,
That'd be scary.
yeah, it would be.
You'd mess up your gears
Hmm.
and damage your mount permanently.
Yeah,
And you'd have to get new gears or a new motor or motor board, depending on how severe it was.
yeah.
So that's what I'm usually afraid of. But if you got a peer, then you don't have to worry about that.
That would be nice. All right. So that's looking good.
Let's
Let's go back to
continue.
here. Yeah.
So
So,
you did your 50.
oh yeah, I was gonna rename it stars 50%, P for percent, and then I'll minimize that.
Yeah, your method is faster than what I do. Normally, I just separate the stars
Hmm.
and then make a separate like image out of just stars, and I stretch it, and then well, actually no, yeah, I stretch it, shrink the stars, and then I put it back in the image instead of your two-layer method.
All right, there, I'm done.
Oh wow.
Well, no, not quite. I'm gonna be more careful
If you
now.
want to do a simple stretch, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Wow, just like that, without even like enhancing the saturation in layers.
So
Yeah.
so the first stretch though, you didn't set the point, right? The send to
I did
SD.
not. That's right, I
You did
did not.
okay.
What
But
I
but
did
that's
was,
okay though, because you're doing
yeah, because I increased the local intensity all the way to the max, which is my thing. It's sort of my method of pulling out the dark tone details, like all this region right here where my cursor is at.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that was the
And you
very
don't
reason.
care if like the image gets bright because you
Hmm.
can just adjust that later, right?
Right, which I'm doing now. Just making sure I'm not clipping any of the red, green, or blue channels. Clipping,
How
what I
would you
mean is,
know? Oh, if it reaches one, right?
right here, I was gonna zoom in. Well, maybe right here, for example. That's kind of a brighter area. And the setting that I have currently right here, I haven't committed it yet. I
Uh-huh.
just put my cursor here. Now this part, it's reaching one, so it's about clipping, but that's okay because that's where we have the two stars.
I didn't even notice that. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I just want to make sure that the surrounding area is not clipped. Something like that. That would be bad. You lose data or the details there. So I think that's good. So let's zoom out. And that's the first iteration of the stretch. So I think this is good for the first or the second step. So I'm gonna hit apply to commit,
Okay.
reset, and then I feel like this peach color area right here, details aren't that great. Like right here, I think the details are pretty nice in this area. Obviously because of the
Oh,
dark
I see.
nebula, yeah.
Uh-huh.
This area right here, it's kind of like monotonous. It's like
Yeah, just like a yeah.
it's uninteresting, right? So I'm gonna maybe click somewhere in the middle there, and then that's where we get this yellow line. That will be our new symmetry point. So I'm gonna click send to symmetry point, and that brings it down to here. And then I'm gonna stretch, and then
Oh,
notice,
damn. Okay. Yep.
notice, okay, now we're getting somewhere. So here's a before, here's the after. So now this area looks nice, but then I might have messed up
Although
everywhere
there's
else.
the thing, like you adjusted it, now the other areas of the image are kind of messed up, right?
Maybe.
That's the thing with that.
Yeah, it did mess things up, but we want to make sure it's not messing it up to where, or clipping the blacks or crushing the white.
And that's easily when you move that data way too far to the end.
Right.
Like right there, it says you're right at that threshold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now by doing this,
Yeah,
we
now
get
you're just you
yeah. So this has a lot more detail that popped out, but then obviously
Yeah.
I ended up clipping the black and then crushing the white, possibly, or maybe not. I think the white's okay, but just the black. But obviously I overdid it, so I'm just gonna maybe bring it down, maybe to here. Let's undo before, after, and I feel like the
Yeah. I kind of
the
like this one.
you kind of like
The
this one,
after.
right? Yeah.
Right. Right.
I
Because
might
that
have,
area that you're. Yep.
I
I was
might
gonna say
be,
that area you're working with right now, the orange, it looks
hmm
like it's a little bit more dynamic.
yeah, uh-huh.
Right.
But
Right.
at the cost of something else, though, right? You could see that I might have clipped the blacks here. Here, let's get a closer look, because we want detail in the dark nebula as well. So here's the before, here's after. You know what? This is not too bad. Um, I could still see some details in there. It's not totally crushing. You could
Right.
also see that on the histogram, this lower, I guess the foot of this mountain here on the left, that would be like this dark nebula would be right here.
Okay.
And we have some space between here and here. So that's a good cushion to have. You don't want to get too close to the edge of the histogram right here. Otherwise, you're really risking clipping the blacks. What am I going to do? Okay, so zoom out. I feel like the black tone, the dark tone is a little too dark, so I'm going to protect the shadow a little bit, which is right here, and just bump it up maybe right there. I think that's a good spot. So again, here's a before, and then here's after. I think that looks pretty awesome. So I'm going to commit, reset. I think I could go some more. I feel like the the darkest of the areas, which is kind of like right here, there's some details there as well. So maybe I'll click somewhere in the middle there, and that gives us the orange line. I'm gonna send to SP. So now it's down here. And then let's stretch it. So here's a before, here's after. Now the before looks fine already, and then after it looks like it might be too aggressive, but we could still fix that. My intention here is I still think that there's some fine, delicate details in the dark area that could be pulled out. And I think this is the step forward to be doing that. So I'm going to commit. Okay. And then I feel like this smoky area right here, this dusty area, is too monotonous, like right here, this area here. So I'm going to click here and then do the same thing, send to SP and then stretch just a little bit. Commit. Okay. And then I think that's good enough for the generalized hyperbolic stretch. So now we're going to switch the transformation type to linear, and I'm going to set the black point. So here's a before and here's after. I think that looks okay, so I'm going to commit. All right, I think we're done with GHS. We could try a script under utility for dark structure enhance. This is something that I never knew existed until Ryan brought it up. I haven't played with the parameters, I just left it as default and I'm applying it. So that's a good way to start using it, and then you could fine tune it. I don't think I'll be spending that much time doing any fine tuning. I'm just going to apply it and look at it. Okay, I think that's done. So here's a before. Wait, did it apply? Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got the. Yep.
So here's a before, here's after. So essentially making the dark nebula structure pop out even more. Kind of gives it a three-dimensional look. And just want to make sure we're not clipping the black, so that looks okay. Now it's a bit noisy. I think this might be a good time to apply noise exterminator. We haven't used it yet.
Okay.
I feel like the default values are too aggressive, so I'm just gonna tone it down to like maybe, oh, I don't know, 70. Detail, I'll bump it up to like maybe point 0.3. See how that looks. Okay, that looks pretty good. It kind of cleaned it up. All right, I think the next thing is increase the saturation, and for that, I typically create a luminance channel or layer from this. So I'm gonna click on luminance component and then apply it onto itself. Open up curves transformation, saturation, maybe somewhere around there. So here's the before, and then here's after.
Wow, yeah. How'd the mask look again? Well, which areas did you? Oh, okay. And okay, thanks.
Yeah, so this is what the mask looks like.
Gotcha. And you're only hitting the like the lighter areas.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think that looks okay, so I'm gonna commit. I mean, there are some issues that you already know, like this purple and yellow here, this Laker color thing going on there, and then we have this weird halo, oval shape
Yeah,
halo. I don't
that's from
know.
that
Yeah,
warp star,
that's
right?
weird.
Yeah, we'll fix that in GIMP. All right, I'm gonna commit and then remove mask. Oh, wait a minute. I thought I commit. I guess it didn't go through. Okay, I'll do it again. Oh, you know what it was? I highlighted the mask and committed the change to the mask instead of to the actual image. So, okay, there we have it. Remove mask. Okay, so I think this is good. It's ready to be imported to GIMP. So,
Okay, cool.
save as. Obviously, I already did it here, but I'll do it again. I'll call it DSO1. I guess you could do it 32-bit, but I do 16-bit just to save on hard drive space. So for the star layer, I see a bit of green, so I'm going to apply SCNR.
There you go.
Yep, and then I'm going to save it. I'll call it star as 50% or 50p, and then I'll just add a 2 at the end because I already did it there when I worked on it last night. 16-bit. Okay, and then this is our 20% version. I'm going to apply SCNR and then save it. 16-bit. Okay, we're done with PixInsight. We're gonna switch over to GIMP. Gail, you're familiar with what is it? Photoshop, right? So if you know how to use Photoshop, you should be able to know how to use GIMP. I think they're similar, somewhat.
Okay.
Open as layers, friends project. You know, maybe as a fun comparison, I'm gonna load the one that I did yesterday or last night, just to see if they look similar or different. So this is the one I did last night, and then this is the one we did just now. So it's a little different. I think I was more aggressive with the stretch last night compared to right now. That's fine. I'm just gonna move this down. Okay, so we have the DSO layer here. I'm gonna switch the mode to from mode normal to mode screen, and now we could see. Oh, this is the 50%. I want the 20%, so I'm gonna move the layer, this layer up. So this is our 20% star reduction. You know what? Let me kill off the DSO layer. These are just the stars. That's the
Okay.
20%. That's the 50%. You can see the 50% is more pinpoint.
Yeah.
So my trick typically is I'll switch the 20% to screen and then I'll decrease it to 50% opacity. And that gives us sort of a nice round star where right at the center of the star is the bright pinpoint area, and then the outer edge of the star is sort of like a softer gradient as it gets darker.
Right.
And so that's what this is. So I think I can make this image pop a little bit more. I'm gonna switch to this select by color tool. So I'm gonna click on that. And I'm not sure what threshold to set, so I'm just gonna randomly pick 49. And then I'll start with a dark area. So I'm gonna pick somewhere in the dark area. And you can see that there's an outliner that separates between dark and bright. I'm selecting by composite.
Okay.
And I sort of wanna I think the goal here is I want the border to sort of go along the DSO a little bit more. So maybe I'll change the threshold, maybe a lower threshold. This might be okay. So we're roughly outlining the nebula from, I guess, the background. Now it's a hard boundary, so I'm gonna feather it to, oh, I don't know, maybe 500 pixels. So if you're wondering, what am I selecting exactly? So it's the dark area. My intention is maybe bring out some detail by increasing the contrast. If I uncheck it, this is what it looks like originally, right? And then maybe
Right.
the boundary is kind of it's kind of distracting seeing it there, so I'm gonna remove the view of the selection, okay? But it's still there. It's just invisible, right? And then I'm gonna
Mhm.
click preview. You see what just happened? So I've increased the
Yep.
contrast of the dark area, but I just want to make sure that I'm also not clipping the blacks. So maybe I'll tone
Well,
down
that's
the
kind of
con
like a mask. That's kind of like a mask then, right?
Yeah, it's kind
You
of like
just
a mask.
protected the nebulas,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like that,
and then
except I'm not doing a mask. It's just I'm just selecting the dark areas and then adjusting that portion, you know. Let's zoom in on the darkest of the nebula. So these are pretty dark right here because I don't want to overdo it. So right now the value is at 0.038. I don't want to do something like this, right? That now
yeah,
that's
a little bit
pretty awful,
harsh.
right? Yeah, you don't want to crush it. So I don't know where, you know, I'll just do this 0.04. And then let's look at the whole picture. Here's a before, here's after. And I sort of like
Yeah.
after because you could see like the fine, delicate, wispy gas in the dark area kind of shows up
Yep.
even more, right? So I sort of like that. So I'm gonna click OK to commit. And then I'm going to invert the selection. So let me put the selection back in here so you could see. And then I'm gonna invert it. So you go to select and then invert. So now we're about to adjust the nebula. And then I'm gonna hide the selection because it's distracting. Maybe I'll stretch it even more. I feel like I could go with a more aggressive stretch. Not too aggressive. Let's see what an S, like a minor S curve look like.
They drop it down a little bit on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That looks good, huh? So here's a
Yeah,
before.
it's not too aggressive, but you still preserve a lot of those details.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Yeah, I got vastly different colors, toward the top. If you go upper right, the red area.
You mean like right
Yeah, I
here?
didn't know there was that. Yeah, I didn't know there was some of that purple, that light purple color in there. I
Yeah.
never saw that on when I was doing mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one has a little bit more details.
Yeah.
This
And
post. Yep.
and at the same time, we want to make sure we're not pulling out like undesired noise, right? So, but I think this looks okay. I'll hit commit. And then I think the next thing is we're gonna fix these weirdness of coloring that's going on here. So I'm gonna add the stars in here. Well, first of all, I want to look at the stars themselves. I feel like there's enough information in here for the star colors to be usable. So maybe I'll increase the saturation of the 20% stars. So I'll go to colors, saturation, scale is 1, the max is 10. So just for fun, I'm just gonna go to the
Oh wow.
max.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, now obviously that's too much.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do a scale of 5, which is the midpoint, and kind of inspect different areas of the picture. So here's a before, after. It gives the stars a bit of color, which I don't know if that's too much or too little. I think it might be too much, so I'm gonna bring it down to like maybe scale of 3. Oh, that doesn't look good. That might be a blur exterminator artifact, but I'm not too sure. We could fix that
Oh,
later.
that's wild. That didn't even notice that those two stars on the
Right here,
left. Yeah, what is that?
couple things going on. You got the dark nebula, and then you got the 2 stars that is creating this reflection nebula from the dark nebula structure. So you got this cloud, molecular cloud. Excuse me,
Yeah, yeah.
stuffy nose.
I didn't know that.
It looks pretty good though. Yeah, I mean that
I
this
mean,
is
yeah, this version
Something's
looks good. I mean,
magnificent.
like like compared to my posts, I didn't even notice those clouds that had definition, like
Yeah.
that dark area.
The dark and the reflection, or just the dark that you didn't notice down here?
That that dark cloud
Oh,
between the two stars.
yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This right
Zooming
here,
it.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay, I think
Hey, Chung, zoom in there again.
say again.
Can you zoom in there again?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the star at the top and the star below the big blue area. And see, it looks like there's a little shield that goes up and to the right.
Yeah,
I'm
I
noticing
was mentioning
on
it's probably an
photo.
artifact from Blur Exterminator.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
or like
Oh,
the
wait.
star,
Yeah,
or
it's
star exterminator.
yeah.
It came from your star image. They could probably fix that before merging the stars back.
I'm not even sure how to fix it exactly. I mean, this is Blur Exterminator probably got confused. The AI got confused and not know exactly what to do with it because of the aberration. Since Gale was shooting this at
Yeah.
wide open aperture.
Mhm.
Um,
And normally the large stars, I don't really change those. I usually just shrink the like small and
yeah.
medium small stars.
This would be a
Those are
difficult
large
fix.
stars.
It's prominent. Look, so even in the DSO layer, you got a bit of
Yeah,
that
it's
going
like
on there.
partly there.
Yeah, and then the star layer as well. That's a lot to fix. So I
I
think
guess if you're trying to go like the full mile, like do a print quality,
mhm,
what you could do is uh, try to stretch the original image without separating the stars
yeah,
and without blur exterminator, and try to get similar stretch so that the aesthetics are similar. It has similar brightness levels all over, and then
mhm.
blend in the stars that were not separated through star exterminator.
Yeah, that makes sense. So here's another oddity right here. Oh, maybe we could do a, what is this thing? The heel or the clone tool? I usually don't mess with it because I'm lazy, but I guess, if you're so inclined to wanting to do this, yeah, why not? Oh, you know what? I have to remove the, what do you call it? Oh, I just realized I was adjusting the color saturation, and I forgot that I have this select by color thing going on, so maybe I should undo saturation. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so what I needed to do was get rid of the select by color by choosing none right here, and then increase the saturation of the stars for the 20% stars. I think I did a scale of 3. So I'll just go back and do that.
Yep.
And then I was going to use the clone tool to fix that. So I don't know, maybe something like that. I might have made it worse. I don't know. But I guess that's your call if you want to do that. I
I mean,
genuinely just leave it
well,
because
I
I'm
think that
lazy.
it looks like a real blue, like little mini reflection nebula, though.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I would leave it in. I think that's not like an artifact. That's a real thing.
you're probably right. Yeah. Okay, so let's undo it.
It's like a star hiding behind that IFN cloud.
Yeah.
It's like the stars that seem to have like a little shield up and to the right above them. I don't see them as much now. Maybe it was in the undos.
Oh, that looks pretty bad.
I think that's real too.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Now the Laker color cluster, we should probably fix that. That's a tricky one. I might have to hand draw the selection. I'll feather it by, I don't know, maybe 100 pixels. And then I'll try using the hue saturation tool. I don't know if it's good or not, but we'll give it a shot anyway. So I see some yellow at the middle. Maybe I'll decrease it, or that might work. And then for the magenta, let's see here. Maybe something like that. Here, let me remove the selection because I know it's distracting. So here's the before, and then here's after. Here, let's get a closer look. Before, after. I think that's fine. I mean, I could do a better job, but I think for the
Subtle.
sake of the video, I
Mhm.
think it's fine. Um, it's kind of grainy there, so maybe I'll apply a Gaussian blur. So here's the before, here's after. I think that's fine. I'm gonna commit. It's still kind of purplish, but it's not as bad as it was before. Maybe I'll take one more step in correcting the color here.
Sorry about that.
I think this might be okay. All right, so commit to that. All right,
Looks
so
like
we
it's
just
toned
fixed the
down.
cluster.
Yep.
Okay, and then let's move on to this weird oval aberration of some sort. I guess this is a big halo from, well, you weren't using any filters, right?
L Pro.
All Pro? Yeah, that's a weird
The
one.
L Pro. Optolong.
I don't have any idea other than just hand selected, something like this. I'll feather it, maybe.
Damn, you got that like near perfect.
I know. Really fast too.
He did it really fast, like, oh, yeah, this is nothing. It's like, oh, this is bad. Like, what the hell?
Let's see here.
Chung, are you using a regular kind of mouse?
Yeah, uh-huh.
I
Oh,
don't even
Yeah,
think the
because I
mouse
mean, it would have
matters. It's
taken me
all on the
5 minutes
wrist.
to look.
Wow, like
well,
that's really blended in there.
here, let me do it again. Yeah, but it's leaving some funky artifact there. I'm not too happy with that.
What if we exclude that?
That's in the yellow, so maybe I'll. Oh, there we go. It's almost gone.
Yep.
So here's a before,
Wow, what the
here's after, and then let's include the
man? What the
stars.
hell?
I mean, it's still
What is
there.
this sorcery?
There. All right. I mean, I could spend another 5 minutes to perfect it, but for the sake of this video, I think it's fine. All right, let's deal with this weird star shape. Maybe what am I gonna do here? Oh, this is actually on the DSO layer. So maybe I'll hand select it. Maybe I'll just put a few points here. And then I'll feather it maybe 100 pixels. That might work. Right click, maybe edit, copy. Maybe I'll just try this one here. Okay, so here's our new layer that's pasted. I'm gonna rotate it, or well, first I'm gonna change the mode from normal to screen so they blend, and then I'm going to maybe rotate the pasted layer. So this guy right here. So you go to
Hey, Tom,
layers. Yeah.
before you do that, can you make a copy of that? Because I want to try another trick here in a minute after you finish.
So a copy of the pasted
The
layer.
trick is, yeah, just duplicate that and
Okay.
edit.
I'll put it down here for now. Okay, so layers and then transform and then I think 90 degrees, one or the other. Let's try clockwise. There's more even. So here's the before, here's after.
Yeah.
All right. It's not perfect, but like if you're in a pinch, then I would do something quick like that. But it's kind of a pain because now you got to do that to one, two,
The
three.
other larger stars. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just do only the largest of the most offending stars. So I think this is another one right
Upper
here.
left. Yeah.
So maybe do the same thing to that. Maybe this one, I'll probably leave that one. That doesn't bother me too much, but if it bothers you, then you do that then. So anyway, that's how I would do it. And then Ryan, you got some ideas with the pasted layer copy?
Yeah, and I think what you did is probably gonna look more natural because it still looks flawed, which is a good thing. Like if it looks too perfect, then it doesn't look real. But what I was gonna say is pull up that extra copy back up and hide the rotated one. And I think there's a filter, a blur filter that's a rotation blur that basically
Oh,
spins the selection.
oh, that's interesting. Would it be under filters and then blur and then? Oh, this one circular. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. All
Uh,
right.
and I'm not, I can't remember how the settings work. But, well, yeah, see.
Oh, I like that.
Wow,
That's
that's
round. What the hell?
Oh, well,
wow, that fixes the issues with like pinched optics right
Yeah.
there.
yeah.
Wow.
So I guess that's another option.
It's not necessarily better though, because I like it to still look quad.
Yeah, because the way I did it, you sort of have like the inverted spike, right? Or diffraction versus this one, you could still see the two pinching. But that's a neat trick, though. I've never done that before.
Man, that fixes like pinched optics for like scopes.
Yeah.
That's that's so useful.
On the bright stars, right? But then if you do something like Pleiades, where there's a bunch of them, then it's quite some work. But I guess it's worth.
Yeah, no, you can't do it on
Well,
PDs,
it's
obviously
probably
not.
worth the effort, though, if it's gonna be a picture to be printed or whatever.
Yeah, let's say if you're imaging the horse head from and you get alt attack, and
Hmm.
alt attack looks really,
Yeah.
you know.
Should we do one more? Maybe we'll do this one here.
Usually I get those on the edge of the frame, whatever refractor.
Oh, this one's gonna be a pain because this one's not on the DSO layer, rather it's on the star layer. that's gonna drag all the other little stars along. You know, I'm gonna go for it. Just curious what the outcome's gonna be. Or you know what, maybe I'll do a smaller, maybe out to
Yeah,
here.
I think you can still do it. And what you'll want to do is change the blending mode for the corrected layer
Uh-huh.
to be brighten. That
Oh,
way,
yeah.
it'll select Oh no, but it's still gonna drag. Yeah, it's still gonna duplicate your stars though.
Yeah. This might not work, but you know, I'm just gonna go for it anyway, just to see what it looks like.
Yeah, let's see what it does. Yeah, you gotta try just to see the results. So you find out something new.
This one right here. Okay, transform. Okay, so I gotta move it.
And it might look weird too, because the dips, like inverted spikes,
Yeah,
extend so far out past the selection circle.
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm not liking this. I don't think this one's gonna be a good fix here.
And it was worth the shot though.
Yeah. See, so it did drag the other stars around, and those stars are
Oh,
too
it
bright.
extends it outward.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get rid of that one then.
Yeah, the only way to do that is if you have the starless image.
Yeah. Or Gail could just go back out to Choo Choo and then reshoot this at f4.
Yeah, definitely next year for sure. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Does this bother you though? I mean, I see it as, yeah, it's not perfect, but it doesn't bother me
It
that
never really
much.
bothers me. Although it is kind of like large stars.
Especially
I
when you
have it
have,
on like smaller stars.
I was
yeah.
curious to see what those, I mean, what the cause of the spikes were really.
Hmm.
Like at a
It's just
quick
the way the
glance, I
lens
don't
is
notice it.
designed.
Yeah, but it should be even,
Probably
right?
stop it down to 4.
Or the blades. So how many blades are there for the aperture? Like 11 or so? Like I
Let
wonder
me
if,
check. I gotta check specs online.
yeah, because I'm curious, like what if one or two of the blades are like not perfectly positioned? That might cause something like this. I don't know.
It's a 9 blade diaphragm.
9.
You get 18-point spikes if you close the aperture a little bit.
Oh yeah.
It looks pretty wild.
I'm trying to count here. 1, 2, 18. So it'd be 9 on one side, right? One. Yeah, I can't tell.
No, this is wide open. I don't think it's
Oh,
really getting the blades.
oh,
But
right.
if you search like Rokinon 135 diffraction spikes,
Hmm.
you'll see the really crazy looking star.
Would it be desirable? Does it look desirable? I don't know what it looks like though.
It looks cool if you see it once, but I think I would get tired of it.
Mm.
Uh, I wouldn't want that in all my images.
Oh, I see. I think this is good, so I'm gonna export it out.
Found a picture of those diffraction spikes, by the way, guys. I posted up on chat.
Say again, Gail. You're a bit quiet. Your volume.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Somewhat.
Yeah, I put a picture of those diffraction spikes on the 135 on our chat.
Okay, let me look for it.
They are pretty cool. Like it'll blow minds when you show that to people.
The chat in this video or in a different channel?
In the video chat.
I don't know why I have a hard time looking for it.
I think toward the upper right there should be a little show chat button.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it now. Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, 18 diffraction artifacts
Hmm.
with that 9 aperture blade. So 9 and 9 on each side.
I see.
It does look kind of cool, but does
Yeah,
that
just
happen on like all stars or just the bigger ones like this?
I guess it's not a big of a deal. See, I'm thinking like Pleiades, right? But then it'd be
Hmm.
that would be a very small area if you're using a Rokinon 135, so it doesn't really
Hmm.
matter too much. But I would have to side with Ryan. I like looking at it once, but I don't think I would always want this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I just exported it out to a folder for me to open that up in Lightroom so that I can export it out to a smaller, more defined size. All right, I'm not gonna mess with anything here. I'm just gonna export to JPEG. I'm gonna resize it so I could share it on Discord. Exceeds, jeez. So 10 megabyte is the max. What am I at? 11. Of course. Okay, let me export again. Maybe I'll drop the quality down to 90.
That works.
Okay, so there we have it. That's the final picture. That's done kind of
Yeah,
haphazardly.
that's
If I,
vastly different than what I got.
oh,
That's pretty good.
awesome. Now, if this was my data that I'd be proud to print, I probably spend a lot more time on it just to do it very carefully. But the way it is right now, I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah, man, I agree. Yeah, just zooming in on some of these details, it's pretty good, man. Especially some of that dark area that you kind of teased out, like toward that blue area.
Wait, so like on the horse head, or I mean the blue horse head, or the
Or on the other side, toward the right, that blue area. You
mm-hmm.
know how you have those dark structures a little bit
Yeah,
more pronounced. Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't all PixInsight. It was mostly PixInsight with a little bit of GIMP treatment just to
Hmm.
tease it out just a little bit more.
Yeah, man. Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
That's looking good. I'll go back again next summer.
I might join you. I mean, I think, by that time my daughter is gonna be old enough. She's gonna be more easily manageable. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that'll be cool, man.
yeah. All right. Anything else? Should I drop in data that I'm currently doing? So I'm currently shooting Pac-Man, which by the way I should
I'll
Waka
probably
check
tell.
that
waka.
out.
Oh, okay, here it is. So I'm currently shooting
Oh,
it.
so good
This is
guiding. Pretty good.
152.
yes. Oh, well,
22.
you're doing that
Yeah.
on purpose, friend. You're gonna jinx it. Now it's gonna climb to one.
It's dropping.
And I only spent like 45 seconds polar lining with the reticle scope.
That's amazing. Yeah, like
What,
I never used a reticle. Like I steered away from that. I don't like using a reticle.
Why
the one
not?
that comes with the mount?
It comes with the hole to insert the reticle, but then it was sold separately, so I just bought it. It was like an extra $50 at the time.
And so you just do like like you just spin them out, right?
Yeah, you just spin it to align the Polaris within that small little circle.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
But that's not like the pole master, is it?
And I mean,
No.
Pole Master's electronic. That's what I use. That's why I take longer because like I adjust the tripod based off of like I slew and it creates a circle, and then you match it on a computer. But in his case, he just uses a scope that's like that's inside the mount, and you just move, and then you just center Polaris. With the Pole Master, you're using a camera that's
Mhm.
more digital, but you're kind of reliant on a laptop to do that.
Have you tried polar lining with Nina, the 3.3
Nope.
point?
Yeah, I
Me.
did it last weekend when I was testing a scope. It took me a little while because I was way off. I think it's faster if you have Polaris in view, but I don't. That's why I used it because that's what the plugin is pretty good for. If you can't see Polaris, then you can use that, but you might have to do it like two times at minimum. Like I had to do it like 3 or 4 times because of like you make the adjustments, it's still off, then you got to do it again to get closer. It's just pretty much using a plate solve to kind of estimate how off you are.
And that takes you 30 minutes to an hour.
That was my first time using the plugin, so yeah, it took about half an hour at
Uh,
least because like I don't have Polaris in view.
Yeah, I
oh,
spent about the same amount. I think 30, 40 minutes just messing around with 3 point
oh,
using
jeez.
Yeah.
using Nina. Do you go from east to west, or do you set any of the boundaries, or you just go manual?
I mean, I was just trying it first time, so there's a problem where like it's asking you to slew 10 degrees each time. But by the time I get to like the second or third slew, the sky's out of view and I just see the roof of the house. So when I polar aligned, I have to kind of glue to the side first on the opposite direction, and then I start the routine. just so I got a view of the sky.
Gotcha.
So I was in an odd situation just because of that. Because the house is situated with the front yard on the south of the house. So if I'm trying to polar align, like the Polaris is pretty much out of view if my tripod is too low, basically.
Yeah, I tried the manual with a 10-degree for every slew.
Hmm.
I found myself doing the whole process 2, 3 times.
So this isn't really my final
This is
data.
one
So
frame, right? Oh, sorry. This is one frame or
no,
one sub?
this is stacked 12 hours, not including tonight, obviously. And
Okay,
this is
wow.
not
All right.
stacked with WBPP. This is just stacked with Deep Sky Stacker. Just a quick one. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Pretty noisy. I'm just doing this quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on it since it's not my final data anyway. It's only 12 hours. My
Only,
yeah, well,
not
shooting
bad.
Bordeaux 9, you typically have to go 20 hours, 30 hours. I mean, I did 53 hours for that LDN 1161, that one picture.
That was an amazing image.
Thanks. Apply some noise exterminator. I probably overdid it, but it's fine. Increase the saturation, so I'll create a luminous channel. Let me change the name here. I'll call this mask. Apply it onto itself, and then curves transformation preview, and then bump the saturation. Maybe somewhere around there. Commit, remove mask, and then narrowband normalization. Increase the O3 just a bit. Maybe somewhere around there. Commit. And then let's see, I'll create a yellow mask.
All right, guys, I'm gonna peer out. I still got work at 6.
Later, man.
But thanks
Oh,
for the
wait a minute.
stream.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, Ren.
All right,
Have
you
a
guys
good
have a
night.
good night.
You too.
You too, man.
Increase the red.
See you. Oh, yeah, hints of blue right there. Right. Yeah.
Commit. And then invert the mask. Was it this one? Yeah, I think it was this one.
Is this an SHO palette?
Uh-huh. HOO more like.
Uh-huh.
Just doing it quick. It's not perfect because I'm moving really fast. Let's see, mask. Let me move mask. Let's try the blue mask.
That's just to tease out some of that blue, right?
Yeah,
Right, Trung?
yeah,
Okay.
that's my hope at least. Ooh, that doesn't look good. My blue mask is a failure here. That's not good. So I'll
You
just,
can smooth it out, though, no?
well, it's selecting the background instead of the actual DSO. So, and I can see why, because there's not enough blue here. So I'm gonna try the yellow mask again and then invert it and then work from there. Throw in a bit of convolution just to smooth it out. And then, well, before I apply, I'm going to invert and then apply. And then curves transformation preview. Not perfect, but I'm just gonna go with it anyway. Remove mask. All right, work with the stars. Apply SCNR because there's obviously too much
Right.
green there. And same thing with the 20% star. Apply SCNR there. And then maybe I'll increase the saturation on the 20% stars.
Yep.
And then pixel math. DSO plus stars 20% divided by maybe 3 plus stars 50% divided by 2. Create new image. Failed. Oh, let me rename this to stars. There, not perfect, but done. That was a 10-minute processing, maybe less than that.
Yep.
All right. Um, well, that was fun.
That was good. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, anytime.
That was good.
I gotta watch that movie again, that James Bond
Which
movie.
one?
Now that you
Oh,
were, I forgot his. I know it's a Japanese dude from. He's an actor from, I guess, the 50s and the 60s.
yeah.
Is that picture? I don't recall him saying much in the movie. I just recall him, being a badass, kicking ass
Yeah, man.
and fighting, and then driving the Rolls Royce for the James Bond villain.
Yep.
So
Well, that's good.
yeah,
All right, I'll probably call
awesome.
it a night too, boys.
Same
But thanks
here.
for the lesson, man.
Yeah, anytime. If you got
I'm
other
gonna have to
data,
download GIMP.
yes.
Hmm?
The,
Yeah.
well, don't you have Photoshop?
I have Photoshop, but it's, subscription based. So
Oh, I hate that.
I'm trying to move away from it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's through work, but if they they decide to go, without Adobe anymore, then it'll be gone. So I'd
right.
rather get something like a freeware
Mm-hmm.
and then work with it.
Yeah, I think GIMP is a good alternative. Cool. All right.
Is there an alternative to Lightroom?
That is not subscription.
Yeah.
Use a really old version. The
Yeah.
one I have is version 2 from 2008.
Damn. So you got the disc somewhere.
Well, I lost it after I moved to this house, but the really early versions of Lightroom, it's probably not very good, but then it's not subscription based, so
Right.
yeah. I only use Lightroom just to export it in very specific sizes or specific format and specific
Hmm.
quality. Because I feel like GIMP doesn't really give you too much of that, but I don't know. Maybe Ryan, if you have any ideas, like especially
I
when,
haven't used GIMP in a long time. It looks like it's come a long way just from seeing the interface that you showed.
yeah,
It's probably been 10 years since I used it.
I think the problem with GIMP is if I wanted to resize the export, I can't figure out how to do that. I don't think there's a way of doing that. You could resize the file size based on the quality of the JPEG, but if
You
I
can't
wanted to
set
shrink it,
dimensions. Like
set the
when you want to export it, you can't change dimensions.
Do you
I
still have GIMP up? Pull it up.
yeah. So if I want to export this to under 10
Mhm.
megabytes, so I could share it in Discord, right? Export as, just wait for my hard drive to spool up. Okay. And then JPEG. I just type it out like that, I guess, and then export. So this is all I get, really.
Yeah. So I think Photoshop's basically the same thing. What you have to do is resize it using the image menu. If you cancel that
Oh,
up in the file menu under image, you
right.
could go to image resize.
Yeah, that's a pain though, because you don't
Yep.
know how much to resize it to get it just under 10 megabytes. Which is why I like using
True.
Lightroom because I mean that you could do that really quickly. You could figure that out. It's just that my copy of Lightroom is really really old. But it's good for what I need it to do, which is just resizing. All right. I guess that's it. If there's any other data you guys like to share, we could play around with. As I mentioned before, I'm not an expert in any of these things. I'm still learning. I think
Mhm.
Ryan, you're really good at showing stuff as well, that stuff that I haven't even tried yet. So I think it's a good exercise that we sort of work together and bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm learning a lot from you watching this, so I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I feel like
Thank you.
Yeah, anytime. I feel like this could have been a better exercise if it weren't for my 102 fever that I'm having right now. But
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
oh,
man,
I
get some
guess you
rest,
missed it,
dude.
Ryan. You jumped in a little later, right? Because I started off the this meeting saying that I'm actually really sick right now. But I'm
Yeah.
sure you know how that is with your kids. Your kids go
Yeah,
to school, so
yeah. We can't go 2 weeks without the whole house being under
uh,
the weather like that.
yeah, they're essentially walking petri dishes. And
Yeah. Especially
Disgusting.
now, since winter's coming.
oh, jeez,
It's
yeah.
getting cooler.
Uh-huh.
it's gonna
Yeah,
be
so
bad for me.
I guess Trung and I will just say see you later until it warms up again.
Yeah. All right. I should probably
All right, guys.
rest. Um,
Yeah, man.
so we'll stop it here. Cool. All right. You guys have a good night.
You
All
too.
right, good
Hope you
night.
feel better.
Thanks.
See you, Ryan.
All right.
See ya.
Take care.
Thanks
Bye.
again, guys.
Mm-hmm. All right. Bye.